All right, guys, welcome back to another short episode of the Nerds Who Drink. I'm Steve.
And I'm Mark.
And guys, we wanted to talk quick about a couple shows that we've been watching, catching up on, chatting about that we're super excited about, and kind of go from there. So, if you've watched last week's episode, this is just a continuation of that. So, sadly, no cracking of a drink this time. Still got some left over, so
I don't know
we'll
what
hit that
makes
up.
me so.
I think that was the end of it. Um, but we want to talk about Dexter. Was it Original Sin and the Skeleton Crew from Star Wars? So I guess giving it its due diligence, let's start with Dexter, which I think
Absolutely.
honestly, like being that it had its original series, it's
First, did you watch the last season of the newer season? Not the
like
original series, but
yes. What
was it
the hell
First
was it
Blood
called?
or
New Blood.
New Blood?
I
Did you
hated
watch
it.
New Blood?
I hated it.
Okay. No, I just didn't know if I know a lot of people that love this, but they never watched New Blood, and I tell them all, don't.
No, so here's my thing. I didn't hate New Blood in regards to the fact like I hated the ending. I think that's what really got me. So like it had potential, and I think the ending just shook me, and I was like, gave me a bad taste in my mouth about like Dexter, who is easily the most.
Likable serial killer in history.
I don't even say that he is meticulous.
Very.
The most meticulous. Like I don't know serial killers in real life. I'm not, but maybe I do. But
If
like
you do, we
he's
don't
super
know that
meticulous. Yeah, right. As long as you don't
yet.
kill me, we're good. Um, but like he's super meticulous. He has his everything is like boom. He does this. He does this. He does this. The
Very planned, very calculated.
everything is calculated. And I felt like he just got sloppy in New Blood, and
Well, they are
that's not
doing
Dexter to
another
me.
series, right? That picks up at the end of that one.
One more time.
Said they are doing another series, though, aren't they? That picks up at the end of New Blood.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, unless you go back to the OG, like how you were as original Dexter during the TV series Dexter, I don't know if I can watch it. I like Original Sin because of what it is. Now, I don't want to ruin too much if you guys haven't watched past the first 5 minutes of the TV series, but it's essentially like a flashback of his life, like life flashing before your eyes as you were dying, right? Like he's in the back of the cop car after he got shot by his son. He's kind of reliving his moments of his, I don't want to say childhood because it's not really his childhood. This is his like
The
early adult
installment
years.
of the code is the way I would.
Yeah. Well, it's his early adult years. He's a senior in college at University of Miami.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
think the
He's,
way they're doing is phenomenal. The way that they're showing how Harry actually taught
oh,
him.
yeah. Dude, it is. I think that, again, the biggest thing for me, and you and I talked prior to recording, was the likeness of the characters. Like it's one of those shows where I could line up the pictures of the characters and you'd be like, I know who everyone is. If you've seen the original series, you know who every single character is. And that is important. That's huge.
Yeah, I
I could
mean,
not think of a better casting for this show. I mean, everybody.
dude,
And
even
then
the
the fact that you have
mannerisms.
Michael C. Hall narrating it.
Even the mannerisms. I mean, you got
Yes.
James Martinez who's playing Angel perfectly.
Yeah.
Alex Shimizu, I believe is his name, is playing Masuka, and I swear to God, when
Hilarious.
he does that fucking
The
chuckle,
laugh. Yes, the laugh, dude.
like,
Love it.
dude, it's so spot on that they could have easily just taken recordings of the original actor doing it, and it would have been fine. But Patrick Gibson is doing such a good job playing a young Dexter.
Dude, he's killing it. And I think one of the big things for me, as someone who loved the original series so much, the intro, like the title card for the show, it is like shot for shot remake, but with a young Dexter and a young Deb and their father. Like, instead of just Dexter getting ready for work. But like it again, it shows you a little bit about who Dexter is as a person, right? So, like his father, ground coffee every morning, fresh. I don't know. It doesn't really tell you if it's Dexter eating the eggs, but it's always eggs, like over easy, hot sauce, steak knife. Like everything he does is meticulous for his entire life, which is why New Blood pissed me off so much.
And the thing too that like the way that I had took that part wasn't necessarily that like I mean I guess he probably is making it for breakfast, but the big thing is it seems like whenever like it falls everything's falling on Deb to cook dinner and do all that, but it's like
Yeah.
anytime Dexter does it's always breakfast for dinner.
Yeah.
And can we just talk about like I get it's a show. How the hell did Deb ever become a cop? Like
Yeah. No, I mean she's a wild child is the easiest way to like describe her.
that's what I'm saying. Like straight up just pawning stuff she's finding in the house, having Dexter make her fake cocaine. Like,
But hold on. Can we be honest? Is she any different as a cop?
no, and that's what I'm saying. How does she be, number one, how does she become a cop other than the fact that her dad was Harry? And number two, how does she remain a cop through the series?
So can
Like,
I can I just say like that is the most realistic person to become a cop, and I hate to say that. Like as someone who used to work in law enforcement, she would totally be a cop. It's real. It really all like flies down to who you know. That it's what it comes down to in like every police department, unless they're giving you a fair shake. But like any job nowadays, it's all who you know. In even back then, whatever it was the 80s, early 90s, it's who you know, and I mean, it is what it is. The one thing I did like, his first kill remained consistent with what the original series said. It was Harry's nurse, the angel of death. She was giving him the injections to slowly kill him. And that's kind of where Dexter was like, oh, I need to start keeping trophies. And that really like tied everything together. Although I'll tell you what, not having Michael C. Hall in a bowl cut wig really, it threw it off a little bit for me because that was hilarious in the original series.
and see, and that's honestly like something that I liked, and something that Danielle actually even brought up was like in like the first one or two episodes, like he has the long hair, but then he cuts it once he gets the internship. And I really did like that because I'm like, all right, cool. Like you're keeping the continuity correct.
Yeah,
Which, if you just listen to our other episode where we got into Harry Potter and some of their continuity issues, this is the right way to do
correct. Yep, and you
it.
gotta. There's ways to go about it where like everything just works, and so far with this series, everything has been pretty spot on, and I'm a huge fan. I'll say it 1,000 times over. Love this. They're killing it. They could make a couple seasons of this and lead up into his adulthood.
Easily. They
And
easily
I'd
could.
be cool with that. You want to know why? Because it's so good. It's so well written. It's well cast. The acting is good. Like, I like it. I'm in. I'm in 100%, 110%. I would watch 3, 4 seasons of this leading up into Michael C. Hall's Dexter.
And I really hope this isn't like a one off thing.
Oh, if it's a 1 season show, I'm going to be so sad. I'll rewatch it, though. I will rewatch it. Because
Oh,
it's
100% I'll rewatch it. Like, no question about it, no doubts.
So I guess to jump off of that, a series that really hasn't been done before, and something that has no prequel, no sequel yet, Skeleton Crew.
I gotta admit, the Acolyte kind of jacked me up for a little bit. Going back, rewatching it, not a terrible show.
Dude, Acolyte's phenomenal. I don't care what anybody says. I will fight you tooth and nail.
It
There
is
are
not
so many
phenomenal.
parts of the Acolyte, and someone made the comment, I
It is
forget
not
who.
phenomenal. There are aspects of it that are phenomenal. But the
Correct.
show
As a whole,
overall was not phenomenal.
it is middle ground. However, they did things in that show that have never been done in Star Wars before.
Yes, and those are some of the phenomenal things. Number one, I know we talked about the Acolyte. We're not going down that rabbit hole right now, but just to quickly touch on it again, yes, I 100% agree with you. The lightsaber fights, Easily
Well
ranked
choreographed.
third to me.
Well choreographed.
Well choreographed, well done. Top three through the entire series. Obviously, number one, Duel of the Fates, Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar. You're never beating that, in my opinion. Never.
Duel of the Fates. Darth Maul.
Well, the music Duel of the Fates was Darth Maul. It was initiated
Battle of
in that.
Shore.
However, the real Duel of the Fates was Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Because that was believed to be the fight for Anakin's, I guess you could say, soul.
Fate.
That too.
The
That's a good
Fate.
word. That's a good word. But yeah, but back to Skeleton Crew though. Like you said with the Acolyte, like it's completely original. The only thing I can't really pinpoint, which I could probably look it up and find somewhere and find it, but like I don't like doing that. And something that's actually kind of crazy is some of the people that are in this show that I didn't even realize it. So they must not have either appeared yet or they're like writers or some. Alfred Molina's in it.
Hmm.
Jude Law, which everyone knew he's the main guy with the kids.
Yeah.
But like, I did not know that Alfred Molina had anything to do with the show. Nick Frost. Nick
Okay.
Frost is
Oh
in it.
wow, big name.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And like, these are people that either one, they're just very, very well done up in makeup, and I haven't realized who they actually are, or they just haven't been seen yet. But the show as a whole. So, how far into it did you get? I know you said you kind of started it, but haven't really had a chance.
I got a couple episodes in, but
So,
can
what's
we
the
also?
last thing that you remember so I don't spoil anything for you?
Oh, dude, you're not gonna spoil anything. I promise you, I'll probably forget it by the time I get there. Uh,
I
but
don't
can
know.
we real
It's getting very, very good.
can we real quick? Jaleel White, Steve Urkel is in the show.
Yes.
Love that.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, the cast for this, like, you don't even realize, like, half of the people are there. But,
Yeah, I'm looking at the cast list now, and like a lot of these people, like Dominic Burgess, whether you know him or not, he plays the character Beef, but he is also in so many other. Oh my god, so many movies.
yeah, like I
Wow.
said, so for those of you listening that haven't started it yet, I'm telling you right now, it's definitely geared more towards children, but it has its
Yeah.
mature moments. The humor in it between Jude Law and the cast of the kids is hilarious. And now, I don't have any kids that age, but a guy I work with who watches it too, we were talking the other day, and he was even saying, he's like, dude, like, you can just feel like Jude Law is like their dad.
Yeah.
Like, there's one scene where they're like at this spa on this planet where they are looking for like the original captain of that ship's treasure. And basically, like, Jod, who's Jude Law's character, Jod in C-99, I think it is. Is it C-99? The droid. They're
Yeah.
basically like, all right, we need to split up into teams. You need to go this way, search this, this, and this. I'll go this way, I'll search this, this, and this. I'll do this, you do this, you do that. And they're coming like the whole planet. Then he turns around and the four kids are jumping on the bed having a pillow fight. Not paying attention at all.
Yep.
Then he turns around and yells at them. And he's like, yo, you guys need to start listening to me. And then she turned around, she's like, I am listening to you. And he's like, well, what did I say? And she's like, that we need to start listening to you. So it's like, clearly they weren't listening. And like, parents who have kids between that age of like, I guess they're supposed to probably be somewhere between like 10 and 15, somewhere in that range, like early teens, preteens, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Like, people I've talked to that watch this show that have children of that age, they're like, dude, that's exactly how it is. Like, every day you're repeating yourself, you're having to do this. But there's one part that I think you'll really enjoy, and it's really cool. And it's when they do find like the big hole of the old captain's, like where he buried his treasure. So obviously, there's the main kid. God, what's his name? Win.
Yes.
And all he wants to do is be a Jedi. That's all he wants to do. Wants to be a Jedi, reads about the Jedi, studies about the Jedi, knows all this stuff. Well, they're going through whatever, and he finds a lightsaber amongst all the treasure. Well, obviously, Jude Law's character does his character turn, which you see coming because the whole show's about pirates. And he turns on the kids. So Wim turns the corner with like the lightsaber in his hands. He's like, "Kid, this isn't one of like your fantasies. Like, put it down before you hurt yourself." He's like, "I know what I'm doing." He turns it on. It's upside down. Goes straight into the ground, and he like throws it. But it's like the towards the end of the episode. So then the kids escape or whatever. Jude Law like sticks his hand out, pulls the lightsaber to him, because when Wim turns it on, it's blue. So it's clearly a Jedi lightsaber.
Yeah,
When Jude Law turns it on, all you hear is a ding, and then the screen cuts to black. So you don't see what color the blade is when he turns it on.
I like that.
And to this point, he hasn't used it again since. Like, you still don't know if it stays blue or if they use that really cool effect again that they did in the Acolyte where she bleeds the crystal.
But even still, like that's the one thing that drew me for the Acolyte was the bleeding of a kyber crystal on screen. Now
Oh, that was
we've
awful.
had the, we've had the concept of it. The fact that the lightsaber broke during combat and like you got to watch it bleed, wild. That again, I don't want to get too much into the Acolyte, but like I've mentioned this before, the lightsaber reveal for the stranger who we could have named something better, honestly. Number two only to Darth Maul. Because every other lightsaber, it's like, okay, that's just a lightsaber. This was a fucking lightsaber Tonto blade. Are you kidding me? Dude, that's what upset me about the cancellation of the show was like, even if you hated it, even if you hated like the stuff about it, the concept of the High Republic era, bro, out of your goddamn mind. That you don't want more of that? If you haven't read the books, go read a book. Read a book. They're so good. I remember in the first two chapters of the original High Republic book, I was so connected to characters that I'm like, holy shit, this guy's getting ready to go out on a date. I want him to be happy. He's asking, scared to ask this girl out. He finally asked her out, and guess what? He dies. Ruining that for you in the first two chapters. He dies, and it's gut wrenching. Tore my goddamn heart out. But guess what? It's a good concept. Space police that really aren't that great. Let's be honest, the Jedi kind of suck. The Jedi suck. They reel you in with all the promise and hope of this bright future, and then they're like, cut your family and friends off. We hate you and hate yourself. And that's why so many people turn to the Sith. Let's be honest, man. Let's call it what it is. I know what's happening here. But yeah, no, they go on with the facade of being good. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm not saying the Sith are right either. Trust me. In no way am I saying just like murder for murder's sake is cool. But like, I get where a lot of people leaving the Jedi is definitely like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's like going to Catholic school. They're like, yeah, no, this is the right move. And then they're like, I want to go to public school now. I don't like this. Yeah, no, I get it.
Well, I mean, even the transition period between the Empire and the First Order, I mean,
Yep.
90% of the Inquisitors were temple guards that turned.
Hi, hello, makes sense. And I mean, also though, in all fairness, like even if you didn't know Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader, and you were a temple guard, I'd quit my job too.
Right, like,
I'd quit my job. Are you kidding me? This dude who was supposed to be a general in the damn the Clone Wars comes in, one of the most skilled lightsaber users in the fucking universe, and he just wipes out children because I'd quit. I'd quit in a heartbeat. And yeah, like, oh yeah, no, we got this new bad guy who now exists, who's like the baddest bad dude to ever exist. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go work for him.
yeah.
I'm gonna go do that. Absolutely. Why?
Oh,
Because I don't want to die.
if it's like, hey, you can either die or you can go hunt the people that you used to be friends with, I'd be like,
You got it.
yeah,
But
I'm gonna need some
we're
gear, but sign me up.
we're
I,
talking like death, like I don't come back type death. Yeah, all right, I'll go hunt whoever you need me to hunt.
I'm talking you either face Darth Vader in one-on-one combat, which is essentially what he would do sometimes, just because he knew he could, or
That's bad.
yeah, it's like, or you work for him. I'm
I'll
working
work
for
for
him.
you. I'll work for you. And listen, call me what you want, a traitor or whatever, a bitch. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go work for Darth Vader because I don't want to die. I like living. I like breathing. I like eating especially. Um, yeah, no goddamn way I'm fighting Darth Vader. Yeah, so like I don't think that the Temple Guards were wrong for switching sides. I'm just saying, like you gotta do what's right for you and your family.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, like
100%. But that's the thing, like with coming back to like Skeleton Crew. Like it's just this again. I don't know where the time period falls. I'm thinking it's just prior to the rise of the First Order.
that's where Skeleton Crew. That's where you think it is. I gotta look it up.
That's where I'm thinking. Only because I don't want to spoil it, but the whole premise of the show I think is awesome. Like these kids are from this planet that's hidden from the galaxy. There was 5 planets. This one is hidden from everything. And there's a reason why that I won't spoil because that's like the whole point of the show and why everybody's looking for it.
Yeah.
But but basically like that's just a phenomenal concept. Like, hey, we got stranded away from our planet. Help us get home. Oh, your home doesn't exist. It's a fairy tale told amongst the pirates, the Jedi, and everybody else.
All right, here we go. Star Wars Skeleton Crew takes place following the fall of the Galactic Empire and during the New Republic era, meaning sometime after 4 ABY, which is the Battle of Yavin, and the year when the Empire is defeated, as chronicled in the Return of the Jedi. So that's 5 to 34 ABY. So,
Really?
yeah, that's what it says on the internet. Not that the internet's always correct, but like a fairly, you
Well,
know,
the only
trustable
reason
source.
I'm curious is because in the one episode, the one character calls X-Wings to help the kids. But if it would fall during episodes 4 and 5, that would be the height of the Empire, and there wouldn't be any. I mean, I guess they could be rebels, but I don't think that they would be like patrolling as rebels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, it seems like it falls. Again, I'm not saying it's wrong. To me, the feeling I get from it from watching it is it's shortly after 6. So it's like Vader's gone, the Empire is falling, and the New Republic is kind of starting to rise back up.
All right, here we go. Here's another one from Collider. Skeleton Crew picks up 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, in the
Yeah,
early days of the Republic's resurgence. Think of it this way: Skeleton Crew lies between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy.
which is what I
So
said.
much closer in this timeline to the originals. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, does it make sense? Yes. Am I gonna keep looking this up because I can? Yeah. Um,
I mean, that's just the feeling that I got going off of what's going on in the galaxy and who's where doing what. Because the pirates seem like they're kind of like doing their own thing at this point versus like being underlings for the empire. Like
yeah,
we saw like a lot of them through not rebels, I'm sorry, through Clone Wars.
yeah,
Like a lot of the pirates seem to kind of either be at least in touch with the empire or be hired by the empire.
yeah.
And it didn't feel like a Vader presence in this
No,
in this universe.
no, I completely agree. I feel like that would have been, you know, at least something that was alluded to at some point in time. Yeah, it
Because they
says,
also mentioned something too, where because this is what got me. So there's a part where the kids are talking about like what they learn about in school, and the one kid Neil's like, yeah, like two of my favorite planets I learned about like in school were Tatooine and Alderaan, and then Jude Law makes a comment like Alderaan, like you missed the war, kid. So like Alderaan's gone at this point.
yeah, looking for love in all around places. And
But to be honest, like I really didn't think I was gonna like this show, but it's I would
you know what?
say if you've watched the first couple episodes and you don't like it, stick through it. That's the
Yeah,
one
it's
piece of advice I'll give to you and everybody listening. Stick through it, keep
oh
going.
no,
It's good.
I'm making it through. There's no doubt in my mind. However, I will say this: they've done better with this show than they did with Miss Marvel,
Oh, 100%.
and I say that from a Marvel fan, and I didn't like Miss Marvel not because of Captain Marvel. Still hate you, Brie Larson, but at this point, like I've like for a hot minute forgot why I hated Brie Larson. Just gonna throw that out there, and then like I remembered it again, and I was like, oh yeah, that interviewer said she could pick up Mjolnir and you can go eat shit and die. But
Revenge, she said she was the strongest Avenger. Like,
yeah, that too. I don't like that. You're a liar. Scarlet Witch, just throwing that out there. But
Multiverse of
also, like,
Madness already proved you got nothing on the Scarlet Witch. Yes, it
correct.
wasn't her. It was Monica Rambeau, or not Monica. It was Monica Rambeau's mom. But either way, she had the same power set and got
Okay.
mopped.
Yep. But I digress. We'll hop back into this real quick. So, like, Miss Marvel, very much. I felt like a like a Nickelodeon TV series almost, not like a Marvel TV series. And I get it. She's a kid. It kind of appealed to the kids. It tried to bring like a new viewership in. I get that. I get it. I do. It would have been palatable, I think, if it was just better written. I wasn't a huge fan of the show. This, however, yes, while it may be like, I don't want to call it a kid's show, but like young teen maybe, it's still like a palatable show in regards to like, okay, it still has regular Star Wars references and this and that. Like it makes me feel like I'm watching something that may tie into something that I would normally watch later. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, it's targeted to a younger audience while acknowledging the older audience watching.
Yes. And I think that's a very well done fact. So like uh, hats off to you, writers, directors, etc. of Skeleton Crew. Great series. Although, please stop targeting all of my ads for whatever food service that Skeleton Crew is promoting right now. That's absurd. I get like 19 of those a day. I don't even know what the food company is, but they're like, try these prepackaged meals and you can get these Skeleton Crew pictures. I'm like, I don't want either one of those, but thank you. Um, and yeah, like you almost got me because I want Star Wars stuff. Love Star Wars stuff. And that's pretty much why I would have bought an entire meal service is just to get Star Wars stuff. So almost. You know what you're doing, targeted ads. Just stop it. I'm watching you.
But yeah, once you finish it and once the series is over, we'll revisit Skeleton
Yeah,
Crew. We'll
we'll
give it
reconvene at the end of the series and really kind of like dive into what we thought of it in its entirety, which I think we're both going to kind of agree it's a great series. We'll have our hot takes on it, but yeah, I very excited for the end of that. Very excited for all the stuff we got coming up this year. If you listened to our last episode, check us out at the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo, which I think at this point it'll probably be over. So maybe don't check us out there because it's already going to be gone. We're talking almost a month from now. Um,
real
but
quick
yeah,
before we start wrapping up. Did you watch any of the new season of What If?
yes, I did. Holy shit.
Do you want to touch on that now, or do you want to
Yeah,
see?
absolutely.
Okay. So, first episode, absolutely terrible. It's a ripoff of 9 different movie series, and it was
Yeah.
just garbage. Episode 2, really enjoyed it. Love that they're kind of sprinkling the Eternals back in, and they're kind of like, hey, remember this was a thing. My cork just popped out of my bottle, but
Love that.
yeah, episode 2 with Agatha going to Hollywood, that was phenomenal. Episode 3 to me was the best episode of the series with Red Guardian teaming up with the Winter
Bucky.
Soldier
Yes, dude.
simply out of jealousy.
Yep.
That was it. He was just mad that he was the pride of Russia. He wasn't chosen to kill the Starks. So he screwed everything up. It was a great buddy cop team up, and I loved it. But overall, what did you think of this season? Because to me, this was the worst season so far. It wasn't
Yes.
a bad season. It was just out of the
Yeah,
three that we had.
out of the three, it was the on the bottom.
Yes.
Now minus the last episode of season two with the um, Native American girl.
Uh,
Don't even remember her name. Don't
it
care.
is
Kalahari or something.
Kalahari.
Is it? Because I'm pretty sure it's a water park. Um, I'm pretty sure there's a water park called Kalahari. Look that up. But I I was not a fan. Not a fan of that episode because I felt like it really wasn't tied into too much else. But this season, it was good. I liked it. If they had taken out, if I could like mix and match episodes to make like the, top tier S tier season, some of these episodes would be in there. I loved the concept of like, like you said, the buddy cop, the Red Guardian Bucky team up. I kind of liked the episode with Agatha because it like shows really how long she's been alive, that she was working with Howard Stark. And again, like you said, it brings back the Eternals. Um, and like that concept was really cool.
Because
That
they even
she
did
was,
this follow up episode where it what was it Tiamat? I think is
yep,
Tiamat the one that's in the
yeah,
Earth? Yeah, because then they did the follow up one where like he actually hatched, and then you had Mysterio who took over all the Stark tech.
yep. I love that's it. Again, there is so we've said this before. What if is an infinite possibility timeline where like anything can happen? So the fact that they're doing it animated is wildly intelligent because you're not going to get these actors in for live action episodes. But the stuff that they're doing is just like even if it's off the wall, it might hit. Maybe it won't, but it might hit, and you got to go with that sometimes. So for me
Kahor.
personally, I love the What If series as a whole. Episodes here
Kahor.
and there, I'm like meh, but I would give the series 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10.
Oh yeah, easily. Like
Easy.
I
And
mean,
like again,
the first episode was basically just Voltron versus Godzilla
uh,
with some
so that
Pacific
was a
with some Pacific Rim sprinkled in.
yeah. So when I saw on Disney Plus, like it said "What if," and then it had the picture of I'm pretty sure it was Sam's like super suit, his Stark Tech suit. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Can we just acknowledge that group of the Avengers that they put together for that one?
It was odd.
Like you had Moon Knight, you
Yep.
had obviously Sam.
Yep.
Then I mean Bruce was kind of part of it, but not really.
Yeah.
But like it was just so many misfits from around like everywhere. I think it was Black Panther. It was Black Panther, Moon Knight, Sam. You had I forget who the other ones were. Honestly, I really like them putting Kate Bishop with Shang Chi,
Yeah, that was cool.
the
That
Western
was
one.
cool. Yeah.
But yeah, but then
So go ahead.
no, go ahead.
So what I wanted to do, we're coming up, it's the beginning of the year. We've hit some big milestones recently. We had one of our videos on TikTok go fairly viral, which I thought was awesome. Really just shy of 20,000 views, which is really cool for me. I know it's not like super viral for some of you, but for us, it was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and then Pink,
Mark, are you aware that your birthday coincides with the release of a Marvel movie?
yes, it does. Well, I hope it does.
As of right now, Captain America: A Brave New World comes out on your birthday. Super exciting. So for that, in honor of Mark's birthday, we're going to be doing a giveaway.
Woo-woo.
So we're going to be giving away 2 tickets to go see Captain America: A Brave New World anytime after February 14th of 2025. So guys, happy New Year.
And that's
We're going
assuming
to
that
check
it
out.
could come out that date because I have heard that it failed miserably during test screenings, and they are doing
Okay.
from what I've heard.
Well, the giveaway is going to happen whenever the movie is slated to release. So you have from now till whenever. We're going to post a little blurb online about that. We're going to check that stuff out. We're going to verify the timeline on which it comes out, but be on the lookout for some of our posts on all of our social media pages. Again, guys, give us a follow on Instagram, X, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, at Nerds Who Drink. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, comment. We love interacting with you guys. I love talking with you guys. Check out the giveaway. And last but not least, I'm Steve,
And I'm Mark.
and we'll catch you guys next time.